The stage is almost set. Now some locals are trying to cash in on Pharrell's festival.
I think it'll be a great opportunity for people to just get together, a cool tent vibe.
An artifact from the old President's Park in Williamsburg has been stolen. Coming up, we'll get to the head of the investigation.
From the Eastern Shore to the stars.
And we have engine ignition.
The critical mission to the International Space Station.
And our Verified team is all over those viral rumors about the fire at Notre Dame. Barack Obama is missing. Well, at least a bust of the former president has vanished. That mystery is our top story at 11 o'clock. Thanks for staying up. I'm David Allen.
And I'm Nicole Livas. It was one of Virginia's most unusual landmarks, massive bust of POTUS's past. It was all part of what was once called President's Park. Built near Williamsburg, it was supposed to draw history buffs. It closed back in 2010. Since then, the busts have been moved and are crumbling in a field.
But the bust of the 44th president was a little different. It was kept somewhere safe, or at least they thought. Tonight, it's missing, gone without a trace. Robert Boyd starts us off tonight.
From George Washington to George W., the giant busts of 43 U.S. presidents sit at Moss-Side Farm outside Williamsburg. All that's left of the old President's Park.
And when the park went under, they asked me to remove the statues.
Howard Hankins is the man responsible for saving the craniums of our most historic figures. The farm is open a few times a month for guided walking tours.
Now, I get a Democrat out here, I get a Republican. I don't see them fighting and flipping cars. We talk. And they bring up a lot of conversation.
But since President's Park closed around the same time Barack Obama was elected, he didn't get a 20,000-pound bust. But he did get a regular-sized one, which was being kept in this storage trailer up until this past weekend when it disappeared.
It's about right in this area. Been over and picked him up many times and carried him out for pictures.
Hankins says it's disappointing someone would run off with a 44th president's head.
I don't know what somebody'd want to do with it. I mean, what are you going to do? Set it on your mantle at home? And everybody's going to know it's not yours.
So what do you think Honest Abe would say about this whole thing? Probably, who's ever out there with President Barack Obama's bust, do the right thing. Please return it.
For right now, there will be no charges. Just, I hope you borrowed it for a school project. Who knows? Bring it back. The people miss it, and I'm getting a lot of calls about it.
All right, Robert, so how rare is this bust?
Well, according to Howard Hankins, it is pretty rare. You just can't go online or go on Amazon and order this like any other household item. It's very rare, and it was designed specifically for President's Park, so they would obviously like to get it back with the fellow presidents.
Well, hopefully it'll come back soon. That's bizarre.
It is.
All right, thank you, Robert. We do have breaking news tonight. North Korea test fires what state media calls a new type tactical guided weapon. The Korean Central News Agency says Kim Jong-un was there for today's test. There's been no independent verification of the rocket launch, but we do know this comes after reports of new activity at the North Korean Missile Research Center. No comment from the White House tonight.
The countdown is on for something in the water, and we found something next to the water today. The main stage. You are taking a live look at the oceanfront. Crews will be back at work to put together the pieces there. Here are some of the artists who will be taking the stage during the three-day event. All different genres are represented here. Charlottesville's own Dave Matthews Band, Migos, Janelle Monáe, and of course, Virginia Beach native Pharrell Williams. Now, we did a quick check of hotel rooms left at the oceanfront. No surprises here. There aren't many left, and those that are open, well, they're pretty pricey. The cheapest one we found was the Hampton Inn South at $471 a night. Now, Airbnbs, they are in short supply too. They report 68% of homes on the south side have been booked for the weekend of the festival. But Chanu Her found a third option that's getting some attention.
This idea didn't take much convincing.
Not at all. If you know me, you know I come up with stuff like this all the time.
And Zaya Dunna is all about it.
I mean, it was something that we decided to do. It was like, an idea that sort of popped in our heads.
The idea popped up right in time for something in the water, and soon, hopefully, customers will start popping into the tent city to stay for the music festival. Tent City being her backyard in Deep Creek, Chesapeake, where people can find on Airbnb.
We could probably accommodate, if you have a small 2-people tent, we could accommodate at least 30 of those tents in my backyard.
Her backyard is nearly 30 miles from the oceanfront, but Zaya already has that figured out for her potential guests who will stay at her temporary campground.
And if you are looking for a really laid-back opportunity to have an affordable stay for the festival, somewhere where you're going to be able to get your transportation taken care of and get some free meal, maybe meet some really cool people, like, we are welcoming anybody.
And on top of that, she says she will also have security on site to make sure guests are safe.
They'll be checking to make sure that the people that have booked, are here, because, I mean, my neighbors, I don't want my neighbors just having, random people like out in the neighborhood as well.
And if all goes well, she thinks this could be an idea to carry onto next year.
This is just really a place to come back, relax, chill out, get a vibe, and get ready for the festival for the next day.
All right, Chanu is live at the Tent City tonight, and Chanu, you're a self-described terrible outdoorsman, but do you think you could show us around one of those tents?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Nicole, that is no secret. I'm a horrible outdoorsman. Zaya, the host, actually asked me to help her set up some of these tents earlier. That didn't go too well, but she will be providing tents just like this one. You notice this is a bigger one with a few sleeping bags in here, and those will also be provided by Zaya, the host. Now, this is just one of the options. There are also smaller tents over here. This is our host right here. There are also smaller tents like this around here. Again, she will be providing those along with the bonfire and the board games like there are on the ground right here. Now, also important to note, the host will also be providing portable bathrooms as well as showers. And if you're interested in learning more about this property or renting this for the music festival, we have a link to the Airbnb page on our website, 13newsnow.com.
And I love that they're playing Pharrell's Happy there in the background. Quite appropriate there tonight. Thanks, Chanu. We know there are a lot of questions about this event, and we are helping to answer as many as we can on 13newsnow.com. That's where you'll find our full coverage in the days leading up to this mega festival.
Let's get to 3 big stories that have developed since you got home from work. Kitty Hawk police are looking for this man, Zane Cody Reynolds. You might remember the story. They think he might be the guy who was doing some pretty nasty things to himself near the Lillian Street beach access. The cops looking for Reynolds tonight. And Terry McAuliffe makes it official. He is not running for president in 2020. The former governor flirted with the presidential run for months. We saw him pop up in a few early voting states last year. He's also been campaigning with candidates in Iowa and New Hampshire. And the latest picture from Cygnus. So far, so good. The spacecraft's next stop is the International Space Station. It launched from an Antares rocket from Wallops Island earlier today. It is carrying much-needed cargo to the space station, including Astrobee. It's a free-flying robotic assistant to help scientists with experiments.
You want to check this out. Did you see it last night? That bright flash of light over Hampton Roads was a meteor. A 13 News Now viewer in the Kings Grant section of Virginia Beach says it showed up on their doorbell camera. Turns out there's some pretty cool science behind it. And that's where we bring in Evan Stewart.
That's right. We had over 425 reports from all across the Mid-Atlantic seeing that fireball. And based on all the observation information, it started around 10:56 somewhere over New Jersey and then probably went into the Atlantic Ocean just off the coast of Delaware. But again, lots of folks saw it, and we're right getting into the middle of the Lyrid meteor shower. That started back on April 16th, and it'll run through April 25th with a peak coming up on Easter Sunday and Monday, Earth Day. So again, if you look out towards the sky during the evening, you might see a fireball or you might see a meteor or two.
All right, let's get serious about this one. Washington is bracing for tomorrow's release of a redacted version of the Mueller report. The investigation has been unfolding for nearly 2 years now.
And we're here to help you sort it all out. Bruce Johnson tells us how it all came to this.
The investigation has been unfolding for nearly 2 years now, and we're here to try and help you sort it all out. The investigation got started with a warning from leaders in Australia about George Papadopoulos. He was a foreign policy advisor to Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Now, in May of 2016, Papadopoulos was in London and bragged to an Australian diplomat that the Russians had dirt on Hillary Clinton. A few months later, WikiLeaks started publishing those emails that were stolen from the Democratic National Committee's servers. Soon after that, the FBI launched an investigation into possible links between Russians and Trump campaign officials. By 2017, several congressional committees had gotten involved and launched their own investigations. At about the same time, President Trump was firing FBI Director James Comey. Now, with Comey out of the picture, and the fact that Trump's Attorney General Jeff Sessions had recused himself from all Russian matters, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein appointed Robert Mueller, special counsel, to lead the investigation.
All right, Bruce Johnson, thank you. You know we'll be all over this one tomorrow. Trust us to break it all down tomorrow at 11.
New video of Notre Dame revealing the scope of destruction, but that's not the only thing popping up in your feeds.
We're verifying 3 claims that try to link Muslims to the fire in the Notre Dame.
I'm back with more on the threat of severe weather for the start of your weekend.
And the moment a police officer opened fire after he was attacked by a man with a crowbar.